Oh, it worked. Hello. We had some technical difficulty in this Hangout wouldn't go live, but now it's live. So welcome. I am Anne-Marie Bonneau, the Zero Waste Chef, and I am going to show you how to make fermented dill pickles, which is really easy. So store-bought dill pickles, they're tasty, but they're pasteurized in vinegar, and that's what makes them shelf-stable. So they taste good, but you're eating dead food. You can buy at some stores dill pickles that are fermented. These are in the refrigerator section. I can get these at a few stores near me. They're bubbies, and they're fermented, so they're full of probiotic goodness, and they're very tasty. They're a little bit expensive, but if you don't have time to make dill pickles, you can get these. But I like to make mine, and they're super easy to do. So all you need is small pickles, about the same. If they're about the same size, they'll ferment evenly and fit nicely in the jar. Dill, garlic, salt. So I buy all my ingredients in bulk in jars or cloth bags, so I don't bring home any packaging waste. And some spices. I am putting black mustard seed and peppercorns in this batch, just because I have a lot of both and they taste good. Ooh, I was gonna put in crushed red chilies, 1/4 teaspoon. I forgot to grab that. So, and the secret ingredient, grape leaves. Oh. So basically you shove all that stuff in a jar, you pour a brine over it, and you wait. So they're very easy to make, but there is one trick, and that is keeping the cucumbers crispy. They tend to turn mushy quickly. But if you add something like grape leaves or oak leaves, horseradish leaves, or loose leaf black tea, those things all have tannins in them, and those keep the vegetables crispy. So I've made them both ways, with grape leaves and without, and if I don't have grape leaves, I don't make them. I could do tea though. I always have loose leaf tea. I drink a lot of tea. But I also always have grape leaves in the summer when cucumbers are in season, so I'm all set. So first of all, you make a brine. So I'm going to combine water and salt in here. I do 4 cups water to 3 tablespoons of salt, and it doesn't really matter what kind of salt you use. Any type of salt will work, but I like to use unrefined coarse salt. I get it in bulk at Rainbow Grocery in San Francisco, and it's from the San Francisco Bay. And water, I just use filtered tap water. So I haven't had any problem with chlorine in my tap water, but if you do have a lot of chlorine in your tap water, the chlorine can kill the microbes. So vegetables are covered in lactic acid bacteria, and that's what ferments them. And if you have a lot of chlorine in your water, your ferment may not go so well. But if you do have a lot of chlorine, you can pour a bunch into a vessel and just leave it open for half a day or a day, and the chlorine will dissipate. Okay. You can't filter out chlorine. So here's my water, salt and my water. And the first time I fermented whole vegetables, I boiled the water. The recipe I read said boil the water to dissolve the salt, but it's totally unnecessary. It just dissolves. So just stir that up. Okay, there's my 4 cups. And, oh, the jar. So you can reuse a pickle jar if you want to. Okay. So I have used those. I like these with the flip top lid because they have a little gasket on them. Oh, the really nice ones are the little parfait ones. I do have some of those. Well, anyway, I forgot to grab one. The Le Parfait ones have the orange, and they say Le Parfait. They're super nice. But anyway, so I like to use these because the carbon dioxide builds up as the vegetables ferment, and some of it will escape through this rubber gasket. Also, if you use a mason jar for fermenting pickles or salsa or sauerkraut, the metal, you know, this thing, it'll rust, and it's really hard to open, and plus it gets ruined. So, I mean, I have used mason jars many times, but I like these. But anyway, you can use, one of the things I love about fermentation is that you don't need fancy equipment. So if you have jars and, uh-oh, here comes my neighbor. Oh, sorry. Okay, she's leaving. Where was I? Oh yeah, all you need is a jar. If you have a jar and some vegetables and a knife, then, you know, you can ferment stuff. So, all right, so here's my jar. What I do is I take the spices and I put them in the bottom, and then take a couple of grape leaves. So I'm lucky our neighbors grow grapes and they come over onto our side of the fence. So I just take those. Someone at one of my workshops said there's a building, some public building near him, and he just goes over and just kind of grabs some leaves when no one's looking. So shove a couple of leaves. Oh, my garlic. Oh, the garlic. You don't have to peel the garlic, you can just throw it in, but I like to peel it because it's really yummy fermented, so I like to eat it. So put the garlic in there. Okay, now put a couple of leaves. Oh, I've started a post on this, so this will all be on my blog. But it's easy. Basically stuff everything in a jar and wait. Put the grape leaves in. Put the little cucumbers in. I'm not going to arrange them beautifully in here. I'm just going to get them in there. All right, got all my, whoop. Kept her earring. I got these at the farmer's market, and I was in a panic because 2 weeks ago they didn't have any, and I had already scheduled this, but last week they had piles of them. Okay, so there's everything in my jar. Okay. Now I'm going to pour brine on it. Not quite to the top. Oh, you can see my pickles aren't quite to the top. I have an inch. Well, I would have a couple of inches headspace. That one pickle's really tall. That's okay. Okay, so fill it up, and then take a couple of more leaves and stuff them in. And then, all right. So the most important thing to remember when fermenting vegetables is that they have to be submerged in liquid at all times. Okay. If they're not submerged in liquid, they're not going to ferment. So vegetables are covered with lactic acid bacteria, and when you cut them off of oxygen, they reproduce and they ferment the food. So they eat the carbohydrates and they excrete carbon dioxide and acids, and that's, you get that sour flavor. But if the vegetables aren't submerged, then they can turn mushy. So I like to put leaves on top of cucumbers and sauerkraut, and then I put something on top of that, like a little dish or a small jar. This jar is too big for this though. I mean, it will fit in. It's too tall. I have these little bowls, like just something that you can weigh it down with. Let's see. There it is inside. Oh, okay. Some of you might be wondering what my t-shirt says. Oh, it's backwards though. Oh, well, anyway. It reduces down to I love you.
Okay.
But it's backwards on here. Maybe when it's, maybe it isn't while you're watching. I don't know. Okay, so I've got everything in there. I'm going to close it up. Okay, let's call this day 0.
Okay.
You're now going to just set your cucumbers aside for a few days. They can ferment really quickly if it's hot out. So it hasn't been too hot here. It's been kind of cool. My kitchen is fairly cool. But these are pickles I started Sunday night. And you can see they're changing color.
Yes.
So they start to turn sort of an olive green. And they get cloudy. You can see they're cloudy, which is what, here. Ooh. And they're bubbling and gurgling. So you can see how the store-bought ones are awfully cloudy. So that's good. It's working. So set them aside, taste them on, let's say, depending on where you live, day 2 or day 3. I tasted mine today, so today was day 3, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, day 3, because I'm counting the first day as day 0. When you set them aside, very important, put a dish under them because they will bubble and ooze. Even though I didn't put I left the liquid down fairly low on this, it oozed all over my counter because I forgot to put a dish under, which I rarely forget to put a dish under, but anyway. So pickle juice oozed out all over the place. And then on day 3, taste them, or day 2, day 3. You know, the color is a good indicator too. When they start to go cloudy and turn olive green like that, they're fermenting. Taste them. If you like the taste, then they're done. So put them in the refrigerator, and that will really slow down the fermentation. If they're not sour enough, then you can leave them out. And so I'll open these up, show you what they look like. Ooh, they just kind of spat. It splatted me. Let's see. Oh shoot, I forgot the dill.
Oh.
I forgot the dill in the... these taste really good with lots of garlic and lots of dill. I've made them with not quite enough, and they're not as good. Ordinarily, I would put the dill in under the cucumbers, but I forgot. So anyway, they'll be fine. I just looked down and saw my dill and realized, oh, I forgot to add the dill. Okay, that's all right. Oh. Okay, so you can see like the leaves have turned sort of an olive green. And let's see, and there's a pickle, sort of olive green. I'll try it. I think they need another day, but they're getting there. So here, I'll put my, what else do I, that's about it. The jar has to be clean, but it doesn't have to be sterilized. What other tips can I think of? Oh, the brine. When you're done, you have a whole bunch of brine left. And so you can drink that. You don't want to drink like big, huge glasses of it. But at my farmer's market, you can buy this drink. It's called a gut shot. And you have a shot or 2 every day of it, and it helps maintain your gut bacteria. And the stuff's not cheap, and you can get it as a byproduct of making fermented vegetables. So my boss has a gut shot or 2 every day. You can also brine poultry, or I haven't done meat, but I've done chicken. I've brined chicken. You can add it to soup if you want to add some tang to soup. The heat will kill the probiotics, but it tastes really good, and you help, that helps use up your brine, because you don't want to waste your brine. And I think that's about everything.
Okay.
Madeline, do you have any questions?
Let me turn on my microphone.
Oh, sure, yeah, I can hear you kind of.
Oh. Can you?
Just a little.
Okay. So if you use a jar with a twist lid,
Yeah.
do you have to open it to let like the
Yeah.
gas out? Or
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that, because I think I didn't mention that. Yeah, burp the jar every day.
Okay.
Even with this type of jar, you have to, open it every day, because the carbon dioxide builds up. So, you may want to put a towel over it when you open it. So I made some sauerkraut recently. I put tons of ginger in, and ginger makes food, ginger ferments like crazy.
Okay.
It makes the bacteria super active, and so it sprayed all over me and the walls. I mean, it wasn't too bad of a mess, but anyway, it's not ideal. So then, not the second, but the third time I opened it, I put the towel over, and then that helped.
Okay.
So yeah, burp the jar.
Okay. The other question I had is, can you use, can you ferment something else other than cucumbers? Like, what other vegetables?
Oh, sure.
Fermenting.
Yeah, you can use this same method to ferment other whole vegetables. So there are two methods to ferment food. One is chop everything up finely, and you add salt, and you crush it, and that draws liquid out of the vegetables.
Okay.
And then you pack the vegetables in their own liquid. So that's how you make sauerkraut, kimchi, carrots and ginger, shredded carrots and ginger taste really good. Maybe with a little bit of cabbage. But for whole vegetables, you make a brine.
Okay.
So because you're not chopping the vegetables, you're not bruising them, so you're not drawing water out of them. So
so you need like firm vegetables to ferment. You wouldn't do tomatoes or anything like that.
Oh, you can do tomatoes, but you don't need a brine for tomatoes. You can look on my blog.
Right.
Let's see. I'm going to look right now and tell you where to search. Well, actually, you can go to the recipe index.
Right.
And look for salsa. It's my post on salsa. That also tells you how to ferment tomatoes. Fermented tomatoes are so good.
Okay.
Yeah, and they last. I made some a couple of years ago, and a year later I used some to make a Bloody Mary.
Okay.
It was really good.
Oh, okay. So you can use celery too then, because celery is a hard vegetable, no?
You can. I fermented celery. It was okay.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I think? I think a little bit of. I make sauerkraut, garlic, dill sauerkraut. So I use cabbage, dill, garlic, salt.
Okay.
I think a little bit of chopped up celery would taste good in that.
Yeah.
But on its own, it's not great.
Okay.
Fermented carrot sticks are good. I would add a bunch of garlic, or a bunch of ginger.
Okay.
I've fermented radishes. Oh, another thing you can do. So I have fermented watermelon rinds.
Okay, yes.
I have a watermelon right now, and I was all excited. I thought, oh, I have all this dill and garlic for my pickles. I'll ferment the watermelon rind, but it's one of those small watermelons, so the rind is really thin, and by the time I peel, there's not going to be anything left.
I've done turnips before.
Oh, you have?
You know those pink turnips that you get?
Pink?
Well, because of beets, you do beets with it, and then they turn pink.
Oh, that sounds good.
Middle Eastern thing.
Oh.
I use it in Middle Eastern cooking, so I really like them. So I looked up on the Google search, and I've done that, and that's turned out really well. But it's the same concept, and they're very yummy.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ferment all sorts of stuff. I fermented squash once. I forget what type of squash it was. That wasn't very good.
Okay.
It's too mushy. It tasted okay, but the texture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it, and I felt guilty, so I ate it anyway. I think I mixed it in with something to make it better, like a salad or something. It wasn't the taste, it was the texture.
Right.
But oh, well, books. I always talk about books.
Okay.
There are tons of ideas in this. This is awesome, this book. It's by Sandor Katz.
Okay.
And it's covers everything.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah, this is a great book.
Okay.
And then Michael Pollan has a section on fermentation in here.
Okay. All right.
And he also has there's a mini series on Netflix, also called Cooked, and it's 4 episodes. One of the episodes is fermentation. So, and he wrote the foreword to the other one I just showed you, The Art of Fermentation.
All right, excellent.
And then this book, this will explain why you want to eat fermented food. Good gut. It's really good. It's fascinating, and the stuff they're finding out about our gut, it's going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to change medicine. And the thing I love about this, it's not some woo-woo fad diet. The authors, they have a lab at Stanford, the Sonnenberg lab, and they study the microbiome. And in the book, they talk about what they eat and what they feed their kids. They have 2 young kids. And basically, they eat food they cook themselves.
Right.
And a lot of probiotic food. So they eat a lot of kefir. They make sourdough bread. I read it last year. I can't remember all that they eat. And they say in the book, they come out and they say, rather than taking probiotic pills, they recommend people eat fermented foods.
Okay. Of course.
Which is good, because these pickles aren't, they're not the cheapest pickles you can get.
Right.
I forget how much they were. But compared to probiotic pills, I was at Whole Foods and I took pictures. I couldn't believe the prices. I mean, $60 for a small bottle. It's crazy. Just eat a dill pickle.
Wow.
You get more strains. And the other thing too, those pills only, they don't work for everybody because they only have a few strains. And not that every fermented food works for everybody, but fermented foods have more strains. And you can try different ones and see what ones agree with you. They all seem to agree with me.
I didn't even know they had pills for that.
Yeah, probiotic pills.
Oh, wow. They have pills for everything.
Yeah.
We went to a Korean restaurant recently because my daughter's dating a Korean, and a lot of their food is fermented.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Korea sent an astronaut, maybe it was more than one astronaut, up to the International Space Station, and they had to figure out how to make kimchi that they could take into space.
Oh.
And the government spent millions of dollars to figure that out.
Wow.
That's how important kimchi is to them.
Wow.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and it's so easy to do.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Every time I ferment something, I think, how did I not know how to do this before? Why am I just learning this now? It's so easy and it's so much fun and it tastes good.
And I think the next generation are more healthy eaters than we were growing up anyway. That's what I believe. I think young kids are more conscious about what they eat than they used to be, I think.
I think so. Yeah, my kids have never had canned vegetables.
Right. Well, that's good.
Or a TV dinner. I don't think they've ever had a TV dinner. We used to eat that stuff.
Yes.
I can't. And my parents are both in their 80s and they're super healthy. I am healthy. My brother isn't. I don't know. Just seems like us kids are kind of falling apart. Well, I mean, I am healthy.
Yeah.
My parents are super healthy. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because my theory is that they grew up eating real food.
Yes.
They didn't start eating this processed stuff until the 60s, 50s.
Yes.
Let's say 60s, and they were both, you know, by then they were, what, pushing 40?
And unfortunately, fast food too is very accessible, where back in the days they didn't have many, and now it's like every block you go, there's another fast food restaurant. And
That's true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. My parents didn't have
I
that.
have one question. Do you ever go out to eat dinner anywhere?
Yeah, I do. I love this restaurant in Palo Alto. It's called Dar Bar. It's
Okay.
Indian food, and I get the vegetarian thali. It's so good. Or there's a Mediterranean place I like. I'll get falafel,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't eat. So I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't eat very much meat. And when I eat out, I never eat meat because I know it's factory farmed meat.
Right, right.
Like it's.
I'm fortunate enough that my son he lives out in Alliston, Ontario, Mulmer, and he had some meat chickens, and I was fortunate enough to get some chickens from him. And the difference in the taste of the chicken is, I mean, it still tastes like chicken, but to me it's more dense. So you don't need so much. You get a little tiny piece of meat
Yeah.
because it doesn't have all that water inside the chicken that they
Yeah.
water and stuff. So it really tastes delicious, and you can taste a difference. So I'm not a big meat eater myself, and I tend to, like yourself, when I go out to eat, I make a choice not to eat meat, but that's just a choice. I'm just I don't never eat meat. I just choose not to most of the time. So
Yeah, same here.
I cook curry chicken and stuff, so I'll eat the meat there. So yeah. So yeah, that's
Well,
wonderful.
do you have any other questions?
No, I think we're good. It was
Okay.
lovely just being here and watching you. I feel like I'm right in your kitchen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
it's dark where you are.
It is now. Yeah, it is now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and pretty soon it's gonna get cold again, so we got to enjoy the heat while we can.
Yeah.
Continue going to the farmers market until they shut down in October.
October. Did you go to the St. Lawrence market?
No, it's too far. It's downtown, but there are other markets around the city that I frequent. I go every Friday. Well, not every Friday, but I prefer going to the market because I know I'm sourcing my stuff from, and I'm supporting my local farmers at least when I can. In the winter I don't, obviously, but
Right.
there are markets even open in the winter. They're very few and far in between. They probably have grow their stuff in those greenhouses, which is
Yeah.
fine, but it's just harder to access, that's all.
Yeah.
But the taste and obviously the fruits and veggies from the market is way different than in the store. So, but sometimes you just don't have a choice.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't have the luxury of living in a city where it's hot all year round. So
Yeah. The weather here is incredible.
yeah.
We're
So
completely spoiled.
yes. So anyway, thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for asking those questions because I forgot to mention those things. So
I'll look forward to fermenting pickles very soon.
yeah.
We'll go to the market and buy some extra ones to pickle.
Oh, good. Yeah, start off with the whole ones. Whole is easier than sliced.
Okay, yeah.
Sliced can turn mushy.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention that.
you can get the little ones now at the market.
Yeah, like I used.
Bills
Yeah,
ones,
these little guys.
yeah. And
Okay, well, good luck.
And I don't think I'll be able to get leaves, but I do have loose leaf black
Yeah.
leaves, so I'll probably use that instead.
Okay. Yeah, and the recipe will be on my on my blog. I hope to post it tonight.
Awesome.
So you can refer to it.
Much.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye, Madeline.
Bye.
Bye, other viewers out there. Thanks for watching.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.